But maybe, if you come with me, I can help you. I can...
When she reaches out for me, I recoil with a hiss.
How dare you lay your filthy hands on me without my permission?
I'm picturing him actually hissing, like, don't touch me!
I am not going anywhere with you. Now step back and walk away before I have you forcibly removed.
Oh, shit! Welcome back to the letter. We are starting up right from last session. Quick recap. Luke meets the ghost, who is very desperate to bring him back into the house, along with all the souls that she probably killed. The two of us hurry upstairs, though we remain watchful and wary of any potential threats to my person. We make it to the master bedroom without any trouble, though, and two of the security are left outside the door. No problems at all. Not until we get inside. Johannes's eyes scan the room wildly, a look of dread on his usually stoic face. And I don't understand for a moment, looking around the bedroom. It's empty. But then I realize...
Where's Hannah? She came home with you from the hospital, didn't she?
She's supposed to be here. I sent one of the maids to accompany her here, to let her rest.
Oh, okay, so stuff was happening when we went into the mansion, and that's why they were, like, super on edge. I feel the color drain from my face when he raises a hand to stop me from charging out there.
Stay.
I'm not staying in here while Hannah stays out there.
One of the guards will find her and bring her here.
And what if they don't? What if that woman gets to her first? What if she already has her?
That's not possible.
You can't promise that.
There's no second thought as I reach under my side of the bed and pull out one of my knives. One of my kitchen knives. I have no doubt that the other man can take me on if we are both unarmed. But with this I can even the field, or at least deter him from escalating the situation and risking hurting either of us.
I'm going out there to look for Hannah. And you're either with me or you aren't. I'm not risking Hannah, and I'm not leaving her alone.
Still, like a stubborn mule, he refuses to budge from the door. There's a writhing look on him that I try to match. One that somehow I am losing fast to, even with him not saying a word yet.
Can you see yourself in the mirror right now? You are in no proper state to go looking for anyone. If it will make you happy, I will do the looking. But please, and don't make me repeat this, stay where it's safe, where security can find you. We already have one person to be worried about. Please don't add another one to it.
Perhaps it is his tone. In spite of his general disdain for virtually everything that has to do with me, I'd like to think that over the years he has grown to care for Hannah at least. Much as I loathe to admit this, I trust him with her safety over any servant in this house. So, and acquiesce.
You have 2 hours, Shirokin. I don't think it'll take that long to find one missing woman in this house. 2 hours. Any more than that, and I'm going out there.
Of course.
Despite his words, he lingers. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he wants to make sure I get in that damn bed and sleep before he turns away from me. What am I, a child, watching me and treating me like one? There's a reason why we will never get along.
Well, what are you waiting for?
And the knife?
The knife stays.
Very well.
Only then does he seem to get the hint. With a nod he leaves, locks and closes the door behind him. For a moment I still hear his voice while he gives the guards outside firm instructions, then hush as soon as he departs and his footsteps fade away. One that doesn't quite last. As quickly as the silence settles, lightning flashes across the sky, followed immediately by the loud boom of thunder. And that wanker strikes so dangerously close that I can feel the electricity in the air. The power goes out not a second later, and I feel as if I'm being mocked by whatever greater power there is. All is deathly still for a moment, but soon the rain starts once again. Far heavier than the light drizzle from this morning, its pitter-patter hitting harder against the place's roof. Despite the noise, I find myself drawn to my bed, exhausted, hoping for a little nap. I'm safe here. Hannah will be safe too. Shrokin will find her, and when I wake, she'll be here. It does not take long. Once my head hits the pillow, in a matter of minutes, darkness claims me. bringing with it laughter and whispers of a twisted love from a time long gone.
Who are you? Stay away!
Sweet dreams, my love. It'll be over soon.
Yet in spite of the unfamiliar voices and unwanted touches from shadows lurking in the dark, rousing is a slow, arduous process. Difficult, every limb heavy with lead. No matter my aversion for the words they murmur in my ears, or the sight of a horrid smile from afar, my body refuses to yield. I am at their mercy. Beyond fathomable reason, my consciousness refuses the pull of the waking world, choosing to linger in the pit of a dream, gradually drawing me deeper into unknown depths. Somehow, even if it might mean I may never open my eyes, I allow them.
You do not belong there, my prince.
Not that I mind getting a few extra hours, of course. The bed's more than comfortable as it is after an exhausting day yesterday. Babysitting Kylie and the stress of finding an intruder in my own home. I think I deserve a little break every once in a while, especially after going through all that in a single day. Can only be on the receiving end of so many unacceptable things within a span of a few hours, you know. As gracious a host and person I am, my patience has its limits too. Though there's still that problem with Hana, I haven't forgotten that, of course, but that's why I hired Shrocken. He's competent enough. He won't even last a day in my service if he's any lesser than those half-wits who think they can deceive me with sweet words. He's more than capable of working on his own without guidance. Let the butler take care of the little problem with Hana while Hana.
You do not need her. I am here. We are here. This is where your home is.
Ooh, ASMR, just go sleepy sleep. Fall into the depths. Ah, she got me, damn. Oh no, it's Satan.
Come back to us.
How long has it been since? Johannes has never taken this long before.
Surely there should have been an update by now. Alright?
Why isn't there?
Please don't go.
Bloody hell, the cretins I've surrounded myself with.
And isn't that enough reason to force myself out of bed? As it has always been the case. My eyes fly open, expecting the warm rays of sunshine filtering through the curtains, only to be greeted by a blinding flash of light and a loud boom of thunder that sounded nearly too close to my ears. Strong gusts of wind will occasionally burst in from the heavy balcony door, bringing in drizzles of cold rain into the room. I must have left it open earlier before dozing off. The carpet and the floor closest to it is already drenched. Hana's going to be so cross when she sees this. Not that it's an immediate problem. If anything, it's this power outage we should be minding first. With the intruder still at large, staring through this darkness might be far more fatal than multiple stab wounds or a gunshot to the chest.
Oh, great. The power's still out. That is exactly what I need right now. Yes.
It's a storm, of course. I should have moved back to the penthouse to weather it in a much more comfortable setting. Already I can hear the creaking groans of this old place as rain beats against the windows.
Johannes! Has someone been sent to take the circuit breaker yet?
No answer.
Johannes?
Silence.
Shroken! Someone! Anyone?
Still nothing in my cordial mood is quickly dissipating.
Where are those idiots when you need them?
It's really a wonder why he hasn't fixed this yet. Was I really out that long? Can't be. It's only been a few hours after midnight if the time on my wristwatch is anything to go by. Unless I've forgotten to change it again after that last overseas trip a month ago. Though the delay is understandable if he went looking for Hana as he promised. But bloody hell, my safety's also at stake here. Cursing, I stay still, letting my eyes try and adjust to the darkness while my hands fumble for my slippers. That butler isn't going to fix this. I may as well order the security posted outside to do it. It's probably just a blown fuse. Anyone with a brain can repair it. Grabbing my jacket and with footwear finally on, I make for the door. Although in my haste I pause briefly when a gleam catches my eye. On one of my drawers underneath the clutter I've yet to organize, the muzzle of a gun peeks out. Hana has never openly commented my possession of it, but I know she does not approve of it, knowing the bloody firearms policy in this nation. Of course, I have not found much use for it in the 7 years we've been together, otherwise she would have already had it thrown out years ago. Doesn't mean it won't be useful right now. Without second thought, I seize it, sending the stuff piled above it onto the floor. Whatever. I'll get to it later. This blackout problem should be resolved first. Right next to my missing security detail, as it turns out.
Where the fuck did everyone go?
There were 2, wasn't there? Shrokin had 2 blokes posted to stand guard for the night. I might be panicking for a bit earlier, but I'm quite sure I haven't gotten delusional yet. What? Did both of them decide to take a break because they think the master's already sound asleep and won't be looking for them?
Damn nitwits.
I know assassinations happen very rarely these days, and even less in a peaceful city like Luxborn, but bollocks. There's been a woman going in and out of this place uninvited who may or may not want to put a knife in my back. Isn't that enough reason to stay on alert? I'm fairly certain Shrokin won't just enlist their help just for this power outage, only to leave me unprotected. We have a difficult friendship, so to speak, but I doubt that man is an opportunist. I'm holding the lives of his family in my hands, after all. He knows what I'm capable of doing. He's not stupid enough to do anything that'll endanger them and save only himself. So where then? Only my footsteps echo along the dark passage, and I'm left gripping the handle of my pistol for some sort of comfort. Without proper lighting and with the storm still raging outside, the stories I've heard about this place seem to have some truth to it. Some. If I'm reaching and wish to entertain myself for a bit, I'll say there might also be ghosts whispering in my ears calling. Of course, it's just the wind in the trees rustling outside. In denial, I see. Nothing good will come of allowing these thoughts to linger when problems are piling up in front of me one after another. Especially with what greets me once I get to the foyer. Though it's dark, the large windows illuminate the area much more easily than any of the other rooms. And from where I stand at the top of the stairs, I can easily make out their forms, recognize them even. Damn, okay, we're at the spot. It's all gone crazy when these intruders come into my house. I'm no stranger to a cop playing dirty. The smart ones knew that neither life nor criminals are going to play fair. And if one of these wogs this wog sort is in on this, I'm not surprised too. But Lily, this state agent, she doesn't seem the sort. And Daisy too. What will Kylie think of her Miss Pink if the poor tyke finds out about this? Not to mention Mint. Hana trusted her. I trusted her to be a professional at the very least, for fuck's sake. She was in the basement prison cell for 4 days. She has to be a bit of a mess. Especially in the dark. Like, even if she had the chance to, like, wash her face or something, there's no way she could, like, clean off the dirt and whatever else is on her. The piss stains from her clothes. To top it all off, they all have the nerve to look surprised when I announce my presence.
Well, well, what have we here? If I were any less sober, I'd say this is the beginning of a joke.
Bloody trespassers. What is wrong with these people? Did they really think I'll be fine with them walking into my home like this? What are they even doing in here? If I didn't know any better, they might also be behind Hana's disappearance.
That's right, my love.
They must have a motive.
Make them pay.
And it better be a good one.
Not to us.
Or a bullet to the head is the least all of them will deserve.
Let's see. A photographer, a high school teacher, a real estate agent, an interior designer walk into a mansion.
Thunder crackles once again, cutting me off. This time, its sound hits close enough that it nearly feels as if the windows and the ground itself are rumbling. All is deathly still for a moment. I don't let it stop me, however, as I slowly make my way towards them, taking one careful step at a time, relishing the expression of fear in their eyes. I suppose there's something ominous in this setting with the heavy rain outside and the lack of light here. I kinda like it, to be honest. Adds something to the atmosphere. I suppose I must look like the villain now. But short of me getting close to them, a noise to my left distracts me, briefly halting my movements while curiosity takes over every murmur in my head. And it's a good thing, perhaps, that I did, because as soon as I look up, I see him. Another trespasser. Great. Just as he's about to jump down from the furniture that has somehow ended up piled and blocking the door to the parlor. What happened there? And did he really think it's alright to do that in another person's home? Loud.
Teach him, my lord. Put him in his place.
My hand's already moving before any rationale can stop me, fingers firm at my gun, when I finally release a safety from it and take aim. Not at him, but at his friends. They are his, aren't they? Why else would they be here together? Doesn't matter, he won't let the people he cares about be harmed. My finger on the trigger is more than itching to shoot, but I hold back. Sure, I could have simply taken aim at him. But more than seeing him bleed, I want to see the expression on his face once he realizes everything he's doing is futile. He's trapped. Lives are in my hand. His life is in my hand.
Had I known there would be a party in my own home tonight, I would have opened a bloody bottle or two. People these days, in my own home. Can you believe it? I feel so left out.
I can tell the exact moment the realization dawns on him. A short second of his body freezing and blood draining from his face as soon as his feet hits the floor and he looks up. He's already a prey trapped by his own recklessness.
Pathetic.
And really, Daisy, even you, what would Kylie say?
Luke, this isn't what you're thinking. You have to listen to us. There's something going on here.
Well, obviously, why else would people be trespassing in my home? What about little Lily over there, then? What's your excuse? Checking back if your clients are doing okay? Is that it? Is this what this is? Oh, we're doing good, by the way.
Sir, please.
Oh, please, what?
Becca's right, sir. We need to get out of this place. You need to leave.
Tut, not a good enough excuse, darling. You people are the ones who need to get out of my sight. Don't worry, I might consider pressing lighter charges for the woman. Can't say the same for the rest of you. But really now, I swear the people of this city need to be taught the meaning of privacy. This is how you want to start the week. Why don't we just go with a bloody massacre if we want to surprise people in their homes, huh?
It's just a passing remark, of course. I'm not stupid enough to do something that'll bring negative attention to myself. Reputation and all that, I can't just risk it. Thought of having dead bodies here, ones that I'm not even responsible for, they're the ones who trespassed. It's already quite too much. It'll literally be overkill, especially for someone like me. Nevertheless, joke or not, Feathers wastes no time drawing his own gun at the slight wave of my own, even if he knows it's already too late. Still he glares at me. Still he fights back.
Now, Feathers. Manners. You're in no position to be pointing that gun at people.
There's no desperation in him like I'm hoping, just an annoyance flickering shortly before being hidden underneath a challenge. The likes of him are the kind of people I hate the most. Even with their failures already glaring at them, mocking every worthless move they make, they have the impudence to stare people in the eye.
Why don't you put yours down first, and then we'll talk about manners.
Oh, he talks back. The gall! You know, your kind pisses me off so much.
Annoying most of the time, like a pest you can't get rid of. But to some degree it is commendable. I'll give him that. After all, we're almost the same in that regard. Almost. I'm still the better person, of course. He tells me to put the gun down, but I see no reason why I should. I'm a homeowner in defense of my own home. I have the right to, I'd like to think. Questionable permit of firearms aside. It's not like I wanted this, but I'm already high-strung and their presence does not help. Bloody peasants. I can never seem to figure out how their minds fully work. That's so funny coming from the guy who was born also a peasant, you fuck. And I should have also expected he won't let this end in this kind of standstill.
Sorry about this. I really don't have time for you.
A short lapse, that's all it is. One moment of letting my guard down. Before I can react, he fires 2 shots in quick succession. A sound crackling through the empty foyer, almost as loud as the storm raging outside, breaking the tense air in the room. Pain explodes in my wrist no 2 seconds later. Just a graze, however, it is enough to cause my fingers to tense and the pistol slides to the floor with a dull thud.
Why, you insolent!
The next moment happens in a blur. In the following second, I'm being tackled bodily to the ground, back hitting the cold floor hard and an arm pinning me down by the neck. There's a fleeting moment of panic and struggle while I try to untangle myself from him before he manages to knock me out. And then, a scream. A wail piercing through the thick air. Shrill and sharp enough for the both of us to cover our ears and hunker down on our knees. And with each sharp note beating harshly against my head are the images again. Faces and voices so utterly unfamiliar, seeping into every crevice, turning sinister with each shift. They are not mine, but they might as well be with how vivid and crisp they appear. Over and over they all flash behind my eyes until it becomes unbearable. Pounding, throbbing, thudding against my skull worse than any headache a hangover can give. Bloody. I'll take a hangover over this any day. A haze begins to fill my vision as black spots dance around the corners of my eyes. Beside me, the detective suddenly moves, shouting a name I don't quite hear, and then...
Ash!
In the next second he falls, down on one knee, desperately trying to keep himself from that strength he has left. But eventually his own body caves in, taking the horrified... What the fuck is a walk? Is that, like, derogatory? Muttering quietly to him as something distinctly red flows from his body. Blood? This man isn't supposed to be dead yet. He isn't supposed to. I didn't shoot him, I'm sure of it. So what killed him? What in bloody blazes is going on here? Do you not see the long, pointy stick in his chest? Is it so wrong to just want a quiet night where nothing needs attending to, just one normal night? Quickly, everything has turned crazy with perilous happenings that are hard to explain. But it seems that when it comes to me, death is always around the corner. I want to look over him. This is going to cause more problems. All this screaming and crying for a detective who's died for no apparent reason is giving me a migraine. I need to get all these people out of my house one way or the other. But in the blurry mess of my vision, none of this registers enough to compel my body to move. Nothing does. Except for the voice unexpectedly ringing above the discord, and when I finally gathered the strength to look up. Everything falls away into the background. All that matters is her.
Help me. Please.
I told you you didn't die. Everything you're doing is useless, Ashton Frey. And now, you're dying. Meddlesome fool.
I've always been cautious and careful, cutting off Trouble's head before things can escalate if I'm able. That's why I deal with the likes of Harvey, Suarez, and Johannes. For all who we are, for all the enemies the likes of us can make, such a thing has never happened before, because I do everything to make sure it doesn't happen. So to see Hannah in danger, I don't quite know how to feel or what to do. Of all the times for there to be a hostage situation, if this is even one, why now? Good fucking God, what is going on here?
Help me. Please. Please make it stop.
I think death would be preferable if my sense of self-preservation was shot to high hell. It would deprive me of choice and of responsibility in the matter. And I don't want to think about how fast my heart beats so that I hardly hear anything other than my own heartbeat in her pleading.
Please. They're in my head. Screaming. It hurts so much.
What do I do? What can I do against someone holding your life in their hands? With a woman that looks more monster than man. When her expression turns into one of amusement and her horrific laughter fills the air, I'm torn apart. This is my fault, isn't it? Hannah is in danger because of me. Everybody I love always ends up hurt or worse, and even when I choose to let her go, she is no exception. Hannah's unbroken begging makes it all the more painful because I still love Hannah, I really do. But will I really endanger myself for a woman who might not love me back anymore? So something in me dies a little when that woman laughs, as if this is all some sick joke. Her smile taunts me, filling my head with laughter and rage until I can barely think over the cacophony in my head. And the way the woman looks at me, it's as if she's watching, waiting for my next move.
Please. Someone. Anyone. Help me.
Is this crazy? And I don't know what I should do. I know for a fact that one shouldn't aggravate a hostage taker. There is no winning an argument with someone who holds a life easily taken. But I need to do something, right? I just have to. Would demanding her release aggravate the ghost? Or should I? I feel like it might aggravate the ghost, so I'll keep quiet for now. He said we should be quiet, so I'm gonna take that. And hope that this doesn't kick my ass. I want to rage and scream, but my tongue feels fuzzy in my mouth. The fight is gone from me and I can't sound out any protest. Anything I try to say dies off in my throat, and I'm paralyzed by the way the woman looks at me, the way she has her hands around Hana's neck. Perhaps it is for the best that I keep quiet anyway. I know for a fact that one shouldn't aggravate a hostage taker. There is no winning an argument with someone who holds a life easily taken, though. Is there any reason with a monster? She looks far too gleeful, far too deranged to be all there. The way she laughs as Hana begs reinforces the thought. When did this all become so fucked up? A strangled cry racks my body when Hana truly starts to beg for her life, and I only stand there, a coward without a tongue or the slightest hint of fear.
It hurts so much. Please, someone help me.
She cuts off as the woman's fingers tighten around her throat. To think that she's heard her pleas, to find out she's with children, does she feel nothing? Is she so heartless to hurt children unborn as they may be? Wait, when did you find that out? When did you find out she had a kid? I'm so confused. Hush settles over the room as she speaks up. Or have you been denying it this whole ass time? Her voice is but a whisper and deathly slow, and I'm hard-pressed to hear it over the pounding of my heart in my ears. She speaks, the woman from the gardens and the servant from the ballroom, from the hallucination, vision, memories, whatever they were.
Why do you not speak up for her? Surely you must have some affection remaining for her. Is there truly no love left?
My throat runs dry and I'm scared speechless once more. Shame floods my cheeks and it becomes so difficult to even look their way. I do still love her, I really do, but I have myself to think about. Rushing in headlong into situations isn't the best way to go about things. This isn't some fairy tale. I'm not some knight in shining armor. I don't even think I even qualify to be some dashing prince. I'm nothing but a coward who only looks out for himself. It seems she's found what she's looking for and that she has no further use for Hana. A hand on Hana's back sends her falling down the stairs. I move to catch her and that sends us both sprawling at the foot of the stairs. With my back to the ground and her on top of me, the pain doesn't even register in my head. All I can worry about is Hana as I pull the both of us off the ground and away from the stairs, away from her. But it seems my sin is too grave, my blunder too big, and she can only look at me with disappointment and betrayal on her face. Well, I thought me keeping quiet wouldn't agitate the ghost. I'm sorry, okay? And though she doesn't completely shy away from me, the hold she has on my arm is light, ready to let go of me at a moment's notice. Much like I had easily let her stay as a hostage. It is only fair, I suppose. I am nothing but a coward in her eyes. A sorry excuse for a man who can't even muster up the courage to protect his wife. And cowards cannot be trusted.
I'm so sorry, Hana. I was so scared.
What are you sorry for?
What? What do you mean?
It's not like you were ever there for me to begin with.
My blood runs cold at her words, and the hollow emptiness of her words ring true. We nearly forget for a moment.
You do not deserve what you have.
Hearing her voice triggers something in Hana and she starts to tear up. Her face contorts into one of pain and fear. But I grab her by the shoulders to keep her in place so that she can see me and only me, and so that I can only see her too. Except she squirms and fights against my hold even as I try to reassure her.
Look at me, Hana. Look, I'm here. You're safe. I won't let her hurt you again. Do you understand? Just breathe.
I don't know exactly what in bloody hell is going on, yet I can't find it in me to care, whoever these people are and whatever they're here for. This is not acceptable. For all I know, this is all some dumb charade to get to me. All the times I've seen the woman before, it could have all been an act to get to me, to get under my skin. And to think they dare hurt Hana. For all the fear that I had felt seeing her touch Hana, I can only think of her as an actress in grotesque makeup. My hand still shakes, the fear not having quite gone, but anger fills me as I look at the woman and a sneer on my face.
How dare you! I don't care who you are, but how dare you touch Hana! I want you out of my house! Out before I call the police and have you put away for the rest of your miserable life! And that goes for all of you!
I hold my ground firm and strong with my declaration. But the nerve of her, she just laughs in my face. A terrible, dreadful laugh that makes me feel as if there are ants crawling on my skin and maggots squirming into my ears.
You are telling me to get out of your house? You threatened to lock me up.
She laughs and she laughs.
What's so funny? What are you laughing at? None of this is funny!
But she persists and it only feels like her voice is in my head.
Oh, no different. No different. You're all the same. You can all suffer together.
And that is when everything turns to complete and utter shite. It's a slow thing, a whisper more than a bang as the darkness creeps into every corner of the room. The wall shudders and groans, blood runs from the ceiling, crawls down the walls and stains the floor. It feels as if life itself is being sucked from the house slowly but surely. The beauty of the place is gone, with only the dead, decaying remains of a mansion left in its wake. I don't have to wonder if it's just a foyer that's become this nightmarish place. I can already hear it. Gone are the growling of the thunder and the lashings of rain and wind against the foyer's high windows. All of it has been replaced by a more grating sound. A cacophony of voices from nowhere and everywhere echoing throughout the now horrid walls. Voices that neither belong to us nor the people who live here.
What's going on?
All throughout the house, shouts of alarm and surprise ring out, a mirror to the horror creeping up in each of us. Who wouldn't be shocked? This is insane. Even Daisy, feisty woman that she is, trembles at the sight of it, clinging desperately to Lily, while Steele stands protectively in front of the two. I suppose it only makes sense for the man to take on that role when their friend is gone. Something to hold on to when here seems to be no end in sight to this insanity. If anything, this only feels like it's the beginning of the end.
Help me! Oh my god! Please, somebody! Anybody! Who are you? Stay away! No. Stay away! Stay away!
I'm sorry.
The screams fill the mansion. She laughs all the while, a harsh, agonizing sound that goes on for what feels like forever. Until there is nothing but silence, her horrid smile, and the pale hands reaching out to me. Calling, beckoning, pleading. I'm terrified, I really am, like I should be. But I have never been one to truly stay afraid. I've long learned that fear will not get me anywhere. Cowering in a corner doesn't keep me safe, and it will not keep me alive, not like rage does. I've learned to use this burning hate inside me to survive. There's no difference now.
Stay away from me!
Why do you wish to leave? This is where you belong, my lord. Remember the blood we share? This is your home. Don't you remember? You promised to return, to stay, together with me, with us, with people no different from you.
What is she talking about, Luke? What does she mean?
Don't listen to her, she lies! I promised no such thing to anyone. Hana, you're the one who bought this house. How should I know what she's babbling about? I never even wanted to be here in the first place.
A terrible case of mistaken identity, that must be it. I'm quite sure of it. I don't know this woman, this monster. Why would I say that to someone like her? In my entire lifetime, I've only made and kept sincere promises to a mere two people. Hannah Evans and Eleanor Chandler. No one else. The rest of those who claim I've promised anything to them can go fuck themselves. Bloody hell, I may enjoy the company of women, but I'm not an idiot to start spouting such nonsense to anyone. A line must be drawn, especially if I'm to keep myself alive. Yet she still goes on and insists, making me appear a liar in front of these people.
Of course you still deny it. Have you truly forgotten? You haven't changed, I see. Still a deceiver.
She's lying!
You see, my love, nothing has changed. Still no difference, you and I. Just like the rest of us.
She's been using the Hana voice. The Charlotte voice. So I'm still confused.
Just like every single soul in this putrid wreck. We've waited for so long. You can hear them, yes? Their pleas, their calls, their invitation. Come, my lord. The house seeks its master.
The monster reaches out again, her hands a gory, abhorrent sight, along with that smile spread across her face. My body's already moving on instinct. Stumbling back one step at a time in a desperate bid to be away from her, anything to put distance between me and this vile creature. No matter what she says, I'm nothing like her. I need to get out of this house. Out of this country, preferably. There's nothing for me here, not anymore, nothing to keep tied to this place. With Hana planning to leave me, Shrokin likely taken by this woman, nothing left to bind me to this wretched city. I can leave, I can.
Careful, Luke.
My foot steps on something, sending me sliding on my back and flat on the floor. Beside me a paper, a familiar one, flutters down. It's this thing again from the open house, though it feels less like a gimmick and more like a threat with... what with recent events. It must have fallen from the detective in the commotion earlier. And with its owner having met a gruesome death, now it simply bears its equally grisly message for everyone in the room to see. Help me. Help me. Help me. Is this it? What they've been telling us, why everything in my life has gone to shite because of this stupid old letter? An invitation indeed. One I'm not willing to accept. Not any time. From the top of the stairs, the creature moves again, drawing my attention back to her. Her gait remains slow and awkward as she walks forward, that smile never leaving her. But I won't give her the chance. I'm not dying here. I'm certainly not giving myself to a hideous creature like her either. Adrenaline kicks in, and despite panic gasps and worried glances from Daisy's friends, I pay them no mind as I reach for the main door end. Without warning, it slams open, revealing not the mansion grounds like I am expecting. Before my mind can even comprehend what's happening, black tendrils have already coiled tightly around my limbs, dragging every person in the foyer into the room. None of us even get to scream when darkness completely envelops us upon the doors closing.
Understand where your place is now, my love. You belong here. Is it so difficult to grasp? We've been waiting.
There's a moment of panic when the feeling of the tendrils around my limbs finally dissipate. As soon as my eyes adjust to the darkness of the room and I'm on my feet, I'm reaching for my knife and holding it out, watching, waiting for every movement. Using it as a way to put distance between me and these peasants. Who knows what they'll do now? We're all desperate to get out of this house. There's only 6 of us in this room, 3 of them friends at that. I cannot trust these people not to turn on me. Bloody hell, even Hana is giving me the same looks as them now. Though Mint has already gone loon, crouched in a corner and muttering to herself, you can't really say anyone's safe from her. If anything, she's the one I should watch out for. I cannot trust anyone. Not anymore. Not after this. Despite the pleading looks, Lily shoots my way while they all huddle in the corner behind Steel. But I have to remind myself that even people like her are capable of doing the unpleasant. She's only human after all. It's never an excuse, why even Hana has her cunning, manipulative moments, though she does it much subtler than I. Why else would Lily show this letter to us that day, if not to save herself? I guess I backfired on her now that she and her own friends are also stuck here. Still, I have every right to be livid. Everything that I've built has fallen apart. All because these people came into our lives.
You! All of you!
Luke is the only one just completely out of his mind. I mean, Marianne, but hers is in a different way. It's not about distrust of everyone. It's just like, I don't want to be here right now. I'm so terrified.
This is all your fault! If I've died to this bloody case, I'm taking you all down with me!
Luke, please put that knife away. This isn't going to solve anything.
Hey now, Mr. Wright. I know the situation ain't good, but we have to calm down. We're all in the same boat here.
You shut your mouth! If it weren't for you, or this letter, For all of you, none of this would have happened.
Is your life all that matters to you? What about these people here? Don't they have the same problem? What about me, Luke? Do you even care?
Are you taking their side? You're also stuck in this nightmare, Hannah. That creature is out to get us, and you're still defending these people.
I'm not defending anyone, Luke. I'm just trying to be reasonable when you're clearly not.
Oh, of course you're not. You're just the one who bought this bloody mansion to begin with. If I didn't know any better, you did this on purpose.
Why, no. Why would I ever do that? This was only meant to be an anniversary gift. For you. For us. For the family we're going to have.
Right, anniversary gift. Oh, here's your gift, darling. Oh, by the way, there's a curse included in that package. I hope that's all right. Are you really that eager to get rid of me, Hannah? Because if that's what you've been meaning to do all this time, you might as well just put a knife in my back while I'm...
Suddenly, Hannah steps up and slaps the knife away from my hand. Said knife slides uselessly under the table out of my reach. Before my mind registers what's happening, a sharp blow explodes on the side of my head, sending me reeling backwards. Yeah, get him! She merely stands before me afterwards without even batting an eye, glaring at me as she might just rip my head off in that instant. Sometimes. Sometimes I forget.
Don't you dare, Luke. Don't you dare imply I've ever thought of you that way.
Hannah is never the weak woman I believed her to be. How did I come to think of her as such? She used to be someone I could look up to, isn't she? When you look at her now, the way she stands tall facing a man like me, the same way she has done so all those years ago, I can't help but think. Am I not responsible for taking that part of herself away from her? Enjoy your time as Mrs. Luke Wright. What a bunch of shite. Figures why she wants to leave me.
And these people are only trying to help us.
Oh, of course, by barging into our home. Are you really going to trust them to save your life? These peasants who brought this pox upon us.
Keep talking about us like that, and see if any of us here will keep you out of this place. Rebecca, stop! All of you stop this!
To hear Lily speak out loud, I can't say I'm not surprised. She's always giving me the impression of someone so meek from the moment I've met her, either from her inexperience or her station in life. She's never struck me as someone fitting to be a real estate agent. Until now. Quietly, she puts herself between me and Daisy, cutting whatever scathing words we've yet to hurl at the other. The way she glares at me, it reminds me a little of the way my own mum would look at me. Particularly when I've done something wrong and it's not a stare she's unused to showing. She has done this before, probably to a younger sibling. Huh. If she only sees us now as a pair of squabbling kids and not too mature adults, well, that's only to be expected. No doubt that's how she sees us. For a long moment there's only silence in the room. Steele, the big oaf, doesn't even dare to break it. Merely watching the three of us behind two women who he towers over significantly, too soft. Not that it matters when Lily starts speaking again after some of the anger and tension has lifted from the room.
Stop this, please! With or without that damn piece of paper,
A deep breath. An exhale. And then she closes her eyes, a crease forming between her brows while she grips her hand tightly in front of her.
we still would have ended up in this mess.
The atmosphere that descends into the room right after this admission is anything but pleasant. Can I call it that, an admission? Seems like it from the way her eyes nervously flick between her friends and I. She appears to know more than she lets on, and how she makes herself appear smaller after dropping that bomb on us doesn't sit quite well with me. Impatience is something I don't have the luxury of having right now and bestowing upon other people. What else does this girl know? What else is she not telling us? Because from the looks of this, even her friends has no idea what she's talking about. Unwilling to wait, I grab her arm before she retreats without explanation, waving the letter still in my hand in front of her.
Ow! Sir, you're hurting me!
Luke, will you stop taking it out on every single person?
Your friend is hiding something, Daisy.
She struggles for a moment, but my hold eventually forces her to look up at me. Fear and uncertainty spreads across her features, especially when her eyes land on the damn paper. As much as I want to be considerate right now, I want answers.
What do you mean, Lily?
I'm not sure about it.
Don't give me that, you know something!
Ow! Please, sir. I know the paper's useless, okay?
At the mention of the letter, all of a sudden Mint stands. I've almost forgotten she's here, her ramblings having faded in the shouting. Without warning, she snatches the paper out of my hand. It's a miracle it isn't ripped then and there, but the way she glares at it, I think she may want to do exactly that.
We should have gotten rid of this thing. We should have burned it at the first opportunity we got.
No, even if we rip it to shreds, it won't do anything. I think...
You don't know what I've seen, Santos. There were children, victims, all because they had no idea what this thing will do to them. Oh God, those poor souls. They were screaming and begging before she...
Then what about those people they mentioned in the news lately? All those who died? My coworkers? The open house clients? None of them had seen it. Even Rose. And yet they're all dead. I should know. That letter has been with me since I picked it up. And I swear I didn't make copies of this thing. Even if I wanted to save myself, I wouldn't do that to my friends. Or anyone.
And yet we're all here! Are you taking me for a fool, Lily?
I have to go with whiskey on this. Who knows how many has already seen this before you found it? This cursed thing has to go!
Do you really think a shitty piece of paper would be the source of the curse when this whole fucking mansion is the way it is? The paper isn't anything. That's probably just like a... Oh shit. It's a part of the fucking mansion and I just saw a glimpse of what's wrong with this place. But the real deal is literally the whole thing. It's just a piece to a really, really big puzzle.
We would have ended up here either way. Maybe? I really don't know.
And Isabella, with her no confidence, isn't helping at all. Stop saying, I don't know, maybe. Just say what you think, that's it. If it was just the paper, the issue wouldn't be this big.
Sir, please. All I know is that paper isn't the reason why all of this is happening. There's something else that...
This place.
Seal has been quiet this entire time, but the sound of him talking, however whispered it is, still managed to catch us all off guard. We all pause, turning to him with likely the same questions in our eyes.
What?
Oh, I just thought... I mean, it's a straight thought, don't take my word for it.
No, it might be something.
Don't keep it to yourself, you We are in a situation right now. Whatever thoughts you have, whatever ideas that you have, just fucking throw it out there. Like, keeping it to yourself isn't gonna help even the slightest. Saying it out loud, maybe it might inspire something. You never know. No matter how stupid it is.
What about this place, Zach? Maybe it's also the reason why Ash went here.
There's still a moment where he hesitates, but Lily's urging eventually spurs him into speaking.
I was just thinking, maybe Ash is right for why he went here. This is where Bella found that thing, right? And then this.
Regardless, Steele pauses, allows Lily to remember. Soon enough, whatever it is dawns on her, and her face lights up with something like hope. Of all things in this nightmare, hope. Her head snaps up and she reaches for Steele's arm to give it a squeeze. A reassurance or a confirmation. The meaning is lost even to Daisy, who glances at them baffled.
Belle, what are you... Becca, it's this place. Think about it.
What? You mean, like, burn this place down?
I still think we should get rid of this letter before we start thinking of destroying a place with some historical value.
Shut the fuck up, Marianne. You don't know jack shit.
What? And no? We are not burning a multi-million-pound mansion, you peasants! I just spent a fortune on this!
Well, you should have put insurance on it. That's not my problem.
Seriously, Luke, are you really more worried about that?
Buttercup, marching, millions. It's going to take years getting all that money back.
Well, you certainly won't be getting any of that money if you're dead. Really, Luke? Is that more important than your life?
Bloody fucking hell! Not only do I have trespassers on my property, but they're also arsonists!
How dare they suggest something like that? Bloody peasants. Who, every time he uses the word peasants, I just want to, like, grab his head and just shake it. My head's already aching just listening to them, to think this is all the solution they can come up with. I should have just stabbed all of them and made a run for it. Doesn't help that with each second we spend talking here, the crazier this whole place gets. The voices have become louder and somehow sounding more vicious. If the things in this room start floating, mark my words, I will fucking flip out. And they may not be thinking of it right now, but eventually they'll turn on me. Such is the nature of humans. Better find a way out of this place as soon as possible if I want to stay alive. Fuck, I still have so much to do. None of our choices seem sound, but who knows? We don't understand a shite about this place, might as well try everything, yeah? Whatever works. If I also have to be the one to make that bloody decision, so be it. Less room for errors with the only sane one doing the thinking. On the off chance I'm wrong, well, they suggested it. I decide to... burning just a letter seems dumb as hell. Let's burn the mansion. I'm going to regret this, I will. But with these cries growing louder, this has become the easiest decision I have ever made. I'm getting tired of hearing her sobbing, really. It's just irritating. Isn't she getting tired of it? Besides, someone has to act fast, think fast, and what else is the root of our problems but this place where the letter was found? No need to make things more complicated. It started here, why won't it end here? If what Lily has said is true, then there's all the more reason to destroy it. Put an end to this madness before someone thinks of putting this blasted place up in the market. When I get out of this place, I swear I'm suing a bunch of people. Run that estate company to the ground if I need be. We spent millions, damn it. Millions! With a sigh and perhaps a heavy heart, I open one of the drawers in my study table. Taking a bottle of liquor out for myself, then passing it on to every occupant in the room. They accept it, but not without a look of protest or a confused glance my way. It does shut them all up, so maybe I've done something good.
Luke, this isn't the time.
There's always time for a little drink and starting a fire.
Well, what are you simpletons waiting for?
Whoops. Sorry. Even more when I pop the cork off the bottle and pour its contents on the floor. We waste no time dousing the whole room, the smell of alcohol filling the air. If I didn't know any better, I'd say they're more than eager to set this whole place on fire. And the blaze catches easily in this room when I set it alight, using the blasted paper as kindling. With the whole place drenched with wine and all manner of things alcoholic I've been hiding from Hana, the small fire soon turned into an inferno. In a matter of seconds, we're at the door. You guys didn't even check the door first before you did this. It doesn't exactly lead where I'm hoping it will. Although ending up in the kitchen does give us more reason to play like a bunch of pyromaniacs. Fishing the liquor stocks from the cupboard, we also do the same things we've done to the study. Door after door in every room we pass. Pouring bottle after bottle of expensive aged liquor and setting everything on fire, only leaving once the blaze has started in earnest. When we run out of liquor, we simply drop the bottle and take one off from many nooks I've stashed one. And there's no lack of it in here, the hot stuff, the shorts, the watered-down kind. Gifts from a distant relative, friends, so-called friends, you name it. I've made sure there's always one within reach.
Have you been hiding these from me all this time? How many of these are in this mansion?
Only a few bottles in the bedroom, and the parlor, and the dining room.
Lucia, we are going to have a very long discussion about this drinking problem of yours. And I'm telling your doctor.
Well, this isn't the time to discuss that.
Turns out it'll be useful now. To drown out my sorrows, but for this, wonder of wonders, though I suppose I can now say it has also saved my life. But there's no time for some introspection now, because with each room we pass and burn, the place also becomes easier to navigate, as if it's slowly righting itself, returning to what it's supposed to be. Soon we finally find ourselves standing before the main door. The strong odor of burning wood, cloth, and varnish alike wafts from under the doors of the rooms we've previously torched. slowly filling the hall with a thick black smoke. The blaze has also started in earnest in every part of the house. I can already feel the heat seeping from the rooms I've set aflame. In a matter of minutes, flames will engulf the whole house. Fittingly, that is when she appears again before us, watching us from the top of the stairs while her world goes up in flames around her. However, what catches my eye is that expression on her face. Not the vile smile I've already grown accustomed to, or the one where her eyes gleam with complete hatred. This one? Forlorn is the only word I can think of to describe it.
No, please. Help me. Help me, please.
Can the dead still feel? Can she hear us? Or is that merely another one of her tricks to trap us in this nightmare? Like this, however, she seems almost like the woman she used to be. And I don't waste any time pondering over it. Not with the exit just a few steps away. The door's finally open, and through it I glimpse the world outside. Safety. However, I do turn, if only to see the last of her, a farewell more than anything. For all her attempts to lure me, draw me in, her wishes to be with me, she does not stop me when I finally run from this horrid place. Quietly she disappears. Watching a multi-million-pound house burn before me, for some reason nothing about this bothers me. Maybe it's that one last look on her face that has changed it, maybe it's what I've seen and heard inside. There's only a calm, a stillness. The same hush that comes after a terrible storm has swept the countryside. And with it, the sight of the sun rising above the horizon. Ever so slowly, the sky begins to lighten before my eyes. Darkness giving way to the warm morning hues, soft rays spilling over the vast expanse of Luxbourne's countryside. Nearby, the trees sway and rustle with the breeze, a passing draught that carries even into the room from outside, cold enough to make me shiver. The remains of a storm that has passed. In the distance I can hear the soft chirping of birds while the rest of the world wakes. Dawn at last. We are free. Epilogue! Epilogue! I don't know who this is. Is it still Luke speaking, or can I just read? I think I'll just read, because I don't know. Like the flames that engulfed the mansion that night, whispers quickly spread across Luxbourne City after the incident. Officers who investigated it have simply deemed it an unfortunate accident resulting in the deaths of innocent lives. Regardless of the truth, Luke Wright files criminal charges against Briar Realty Corporation after, for undisclosed reasons to the public, forcing the latter to declare bankruptcy. A move that has merely stoked the rumors further. But for those who still believe in the stories of the old and those who know the truth, it is but a testament to the curse and the secrets of the Ermengarde mansion has hidden for centuries. If there will come a time those will finally be revealed, only the ashes of the now ruined mansion know. However, on nights when the wind howls and the thunder booms across the sky, some still claim hearing of voices where it once stood. Because the underground is made of stone and you can't burn that! Of cries and wails that fill the nights and desperate calls of help for anyone who dares listen. As for those who once tread its halls. Unable to settle their differences, Hannah Wright eventually files for divorce from Luke Wright. For several months, they've become the subject of gossip in the mass media in the city. In spite of this, the two have uncharacteristically remained tight-lipped on the circumstances of their separation. Though many assumed it's the inevitable falling out stemming from the trouble during the couple's housewarming party. To everyone's surprise, however, Luke Wright quietly accepts the court's decision and disappears from the Evans heiress life without creating much fuss. Even after Hannah Evans has given birth to their children months later, the man is rarely seen around the family, merely leaving his children paltry gifts in the mailbox whenever he's in town. He's in town, never showing his face. Did she give birth to twins or something? With the Wright couple separation also comes the Wright-Evans conglomerate split up. Although the Wright enterprise still manages to do well in the business, with Evans incorporated back as a competitor, each tech leak places its CEO and the company under legal spotlight months later. This time, however, with the then Chief Inspector Harvey Lee's sudden absence, the businessman isn't able to escape close scrutiny. In an investigation headed by the newly appointed Chief Inspector, Abigail Harris, all of the Wright Enterprise's illegal business dealings within the past 10 years come to light. Although his involvement with other crimes is still being investigated, the disclosure has caused a huge outcry, especially from the city's business sector. Sued on multiple grounds, the company is ultimately forced to shut down. Oddly, when Luke Wright steps out of his office one last time, there's only a small smile on his face. To avoid public outrage, the once affluent businessman immediately leaves the city. All of his bank accounts have been emptied, including his Luxbourne apartments, leaving not a single trace or clue where he might be hiding. The last anyone has seen of the man was on a flight bound for Ireland. Till this day, no one has heard from him, not even Hannah Evans. Even his people from the old Wright Enterprise, who have all been left to deal with the aftermath. Though over the past few months after the situation has calmed, some have made claims of spotting him flinting in and out of the city, if only to check on those he has left behind. Following the company split, Hannah Evans established Evans Incorporated, becoming its CEO like her late father has always wanted for her. Though a bit out of practice and doubted by many people at first, the Evans heiress quickly finds her bearings and proves to be every bit as talented in the business as her parents. Soon under her management, the new Evans Inc. flourishes, becoming one of the prime investments and finance companies in Luxbourne City. Months after her recovery, Marianne McCullough heads back to her homeland, ready to close a chapter of the past she has left hanging for so long. Here she visits Lorraine's grave, asking for forgiveness from the girl she once loved, something she has intentionally avoided for years. Although the terror of what she has witnessed inside the Ermengarde mansion still clings to her, she bravely chooses to move on from it, turning a new leaf by focusing on a new branch of her interior design company, and leaving her interior design company at Luxbourne in the hands of her secretary instead. Though she never returns to the city after, she is frequently seen visiting to check on the people she has become acquainted with in her years there. Having finally accepted herself, she won't deny she's in a happier place now. Despite making the Ireland branch of her interior design company her focus now, Marianne continues to cater to her most avid patrons in Luxbourne when requested. And after her work at the Ermengarde mansion, Hannah Evans has never trusted another to handle the design for any of the places she owns. Upon moving back to Evans' mansion after her divorce, Marianne's name is the first thing she calls, and the woman is quick to fly back to the city at the socialite's summons. Not only helping with the decorations of the old place, but also assisting with the renovations, much to Hannah's delight. Since then, the two women have kept a close friendship and business relationship. Often they can be seen going around town together when Marianne's in town, and the Evans heiress can be heard recommending the designer to her peers during parties. Some even may go as far as to say Hannah Evans has confided with Marianne McCullough during the tumultuous time of her divorce with Luke Wright. Whatever the case is, one can't deny that both women have found a confidant in the other. With help from family and friends, Zachary Steele is soon able to open a photography studio of his own. Something he has only dreamed of having as a child. Although he still hopes to get back to making indie films someday, client work and small projects has kept him mostly busy. Hectic as it may be, he can only be glad for the amount of work pouring in. It has made moving on from the incident in the Ermengarde mansion easier, if not faster. Even with his success, he still hasn't forgotten what he has lost during that time. But where there are still nightmares, with support from his family, his doctor, and his own drive, the dark images have finally turned into pleasant dreams. He's aware he won't ever truly forget, but he's no longer running away. At times when he's not busy or after a hard day's work, he thinks there's another story for the big screen to be told in that. An idea he may soon turn into reality once his time affords it. Unknown to many, Hannah Evans has also played a huge role in getting Zach's new studio up and running. But for all of the latter's efforts to try and thank the woman, she insists keeping her investments a secret, as she merely wishes to help out, having been impressed by his skills in the field during the brief time they've worked together. A working relationship that continues to this day, as he is the only photographer she seeks at every single event she hosts, whether it's a simple social gathering or a company party. Beyond work, they also remain close friends to this day, marked by frequent visits to a studio or casual talks over lunch or dinner. That only seems to grow in time, especially after the businesswoman's separation from Luke Wright. Both have never directly answered what the real case may be, but it's clear the Evans heiress trusts the photographer enough to put her children, who are especially fond of the man, in his care every time she leaves town. Despite his business success, however, Zack has never forgotten the sacrifice a friend has made for him. Even after so many years, he remains a constant visitor where Ashton Frey lies, staying for a whole day, sometimes reveling him with stories about his day. Although the words are still fresh, Zack trudges on with life instead of wallowing in his grief, knowing his old friend would not want him clinging on to sorrow like he used to years before. It is how he has chosen to honor him. In the months that follow, Rebecca Gales becomes a prominent researcher within Lugsborn's major academic circles, especially after writing what she has discovered about Anselm Village and the Ermengarde Mansion. With help from Andrew Clark, she is soon able to secure funding to continue her research, presenting her findings yearly at local and international symposiums. Now at the tail end of her current study, she hopes to publish her first book, correcting all inaccuracies in the city's current history. A move supported by both colleagues, students, and friends alike. Though she knows she still has a long way to go before she can even begin to change people's minds about it, Professor Clark has warned her as much. She perseveres. Doing it not for herself, but for the sake of what she lost after the curse. As fresh as the wounds are still, this is how she remembers. No matter how disturbing her experience with the curse may have been, she remains the worrywart she has always been. Even after what she has seen, she continues to fret over people she cares about, sometimes much to their frustration or embarrassment. But if there's one thing that she has shifted, it's her relationship with the people in their little group, particularly with Zachary Steele. In fact, on numerous occasions she has been spotted dropping by his new studio, bringing the man food on days when he's swamped with work. They also seem to have grown more comfortable around each other than before. Maybe it's born out of their shared experience, or maybe the way they see each other has simply changed naturally, due to the years they've known each other. Regardless of the whys, it's a change the man welcomes and appreciates. In turn, he strives to return her kind gestures whenever he can. For all the horrors they've seen, who would have thought something good will come of it? Amidst her struggles, Rebecca finds an unlikely companion in Luke Wright. While he avoids the city like a plague nowadays after losing both his company and Hannah, he manages to drop by from time to time. Mostly to check on his goddaughter, Kylie Suarez, though the man still won't admit it when asked. Rebecca still regards the man as insufferable. She doubts it'll ever change. But after all she has seen, much as she denies it, she now considers his presence the closest thing she has to comfort. A similar sentiment the former businessman seems to hold, even confiding in the woman of his problems, petty or otherwise. Their friendship may be awkward at best, but with the grim reality of death having once shadowed over the two of them, it's something they eventually grow fond of in time. With newfound courage, Isabella Santos finally chooses to pursue what she really wants for herself. Having made enough to keep her family afloat for a few years with their blessing, she quits her job at BRC and takes a scholarship offer from the local university. I mean, she wouldn't have a job to begin with because BRC went bankrupt. Though remarkably out of practice and unsure if she'll be able to keep up by the time she returns to the university, she finds her feet soon enough with the help of people close to her. And with her confidence in her skills growing, so do the number of people recognizing her in her work. It doesn't take long for several award-giving bodies to take notice of her. For all her accomplishments, however, she has never truly forgotten what happened at the Ermengarde Mansion, nor what she has lost. The images still remain in her, and on particularly unpleasant nights, terror continues to visit her dreams. She knows those won't ever disappear from her life. It has become a part of her in the same way death has permanently taken from her. However, she's no longer afraid. And with a brave face she carries on, earnestly wishing that someday she'll be able to paint brighter, more vivid thoughts on her canvas. An honest portrayal of life and hope amidst the fear. Shortly after accepting the scholarship grant from Lugsborn University, Isabella moves from Salemwell residence in favor of staying in a dorm closer to campus. Although Rebecca Gale's quick to offer assistance for the move, she does admit she will be missing her neighbor of more than 5 years. When all is said and done, she has become fonder of the girl over the years, and with their shared experience over the curse, they have only grown closer. Isabella leaves with a promise to visit every once in a while, and even though she still jokingly complains about Rebecca's bossy attitude, she confesses that she also misses the woman's fussing. After all, in a place miles away from her real family, Rebecca is still the closest thing she has to a sister. More than a year later, once everything in in their respective lives have settled, Zachary Steele and Isabella Santos finally hold their first exhibit together. A project that has been in the making for almost 2 years after the photographer casually brought it up to the other artist. While merely intended as a small event, it has been surprisingly attended by several members of Luxborn's upper class and art enthusiasts. Although only a few of the pieces have been meant for sale, the show has brought prominence to Zachary and Isabella's names in the city's art scene. It has since been followed by several other exhibits by the two both in and out of the city. Currently they are planning to hold their first show overseas, yet with this unexpected overwhelming fame, friendship between the two has remained strong. Theirs, after all, is a bond that goes beyond being mere partners in a small project. He's her family as much as she is his. While she's aware she has plenty of ways to go, getting back to school has also opened a lot of opportunities for Isabella. At times, part-time work have started to come in droves and she's able to support herself financially through her art alone, something she has only dreamed of as a child. And when clients are generous enough, she's able to send money back home as well despite her family's reassurances. One such client is Marianne McCullough, interior design company. She frequently commissions her for murals after the woman had learned of her skill. Though at times she finds it difficult to keep up with the interior designer's standard for quality, it's a job and challenge she's only too happy to accept, if it means doing what she loves.
I knew the game was over before the rules were set. I've never been a winner. I didn't want to play.
Realizing that the same voice actor did the priest, G, and the police guy, it's just like, oh, triplets.
And every choice is a mistake. I lied to the Lord, I lied to myself, I lied to you and everyone I care, until there were no more lies to tell. Cowardice is easier than being brave, but at last I found the strength I lost to sing my love letter to you.
Oh, damn it, I wasn't really paying attention until the very end. I saw the no Luke X Isabella, no bye, and way beforehand I'm like, I think Rebecca and Luke can be a thing. How crazy would it be if Isabella and Luke could get together? And that was only, sorry, I'm moving around again. That was only strengthened when he talked about how the look she gave him. If they were able to interact in a way that was like pretty civil, and that he could, it would be like getting into the romantic, if they had one, getting into the romantic route would be opening her up to be more confident and probably pulling more out of her, the way she has been with her family. So like, she was the big sister, she took care of a bunch of siblings, she takes like that part of herself and she uses it against everyone else, where she can stand up for herself, she has confidence, she can hit you with a glare that makes you go, oh fuck, I'm sorry. Maybe it could work. Who knows? And then I also thought before that, I also was kind of into the thought like, yo, what if Isabella and Hana though? How crazy would that be? Hana would be the best wife, cause she'd be happy she'd lift you up. And Isabella needed that, honestly, cause none of her fucking friends were that cool. I talked about this before. Not sure if I said it out loud. I know I put it in the description of one of the videos. But Isabella's friends? Kinda whack. Rebecca had too much of a resentment towards her that somehow was like ignored. Zach just never chose a side, which pretty bad in the grand scheme of things. Just letting it play out, like, dude, you have to choose a side. You can't just let this go like that. I know you don't want people to fight, but it got worse not choosing. And then Ash was just fucking idiot. I'm not sure what's gonna happen when I hit this, so I'm gonna look at this real quick. Man, I didn't hit max in anyone's stuff. Oh. Wait, what? Hana and Marianne were at max. I can't believe. I'm so upset that Zachary and Isabella weren't at max. Our friendship was almost the best friendship, and it didn't. Wait, what was... Yeah, we could have had the best friendship, and I fucked it up.
Tio? Where are you, Tio?
Oh, God.
Tio? Please? She's here! She's still here, Tio! Help me!
Oh, this gives me chills. Oh, fuck. Shattered fairy tale. Oh, that gave me hella chills, dude. What the fuck? Dear you, if you're reading this, that means you finished playing the game in one way or another, and we thank you for the time you spent in playing the letter. This game is our passion project more than anything, and we sincerely hope we delivered in bringing you a one-of-a-kind visual novel experience. The letter is the first of many visual novels coming from us. If you liked what we did with this game and would like to support us, please take some time to click on the button below to find out. Thank you so much for everything. Let's talk soon. I didn't get nothing for true endings or romance endings. Individual good, 30%. Individual bad, Luke. Friendship good, friendship bad. This doesn't quite help me in understanding stuff, but whatever. You know what? We're here. Let's do a few. Let's do some backtracking a little bit. Dude, I'm still fucked up over that ending when Kylie comes on, dude. Ugh. I'm trying to ignore it, but that made me upset. And it's an easy decision to make, especially with these cries growing louder. I'm getting really tired of it, really. Wait. I need to make sure that when I skip, it's just unread text. Cool. I simply have to act fast, think fast, and what else is the root cause of our problems with that letter? No need to make things more complicated. It started from here. Why won't it end there? If what Mint has said is true, then there's all the more reason to destroy it. Put an end to this madness before anyone can think of passing it on to someone else. Before the situation can stretch on far too long for my taste, I snatch the blasted paper away.
Give me that.
For a second she appears offended until I take out my mum's lighter. The sight of it shuts them all up. But I have no need for their opinion. In the next moment I'm already setting the letter on fire. And it doesn't take too long for the thing to catch fire. It's old, for heaven's sake. Though I make sure none of the ashes end up on anything flammable, it'll be an inferno inside this study with all the books and documents stored here. Not that a big flame's anything to worry about in this case. In fact, in a matter of minutes the damn thing has turned to ashes on the floor. With nothing left to burn through, the fire dies, fades into thin air and a whiff of smoke, leaving only the awful scent of burnt paper in the room. But as the last of the paper turned into cinders, a sharp, agonized wail echoes from somewhere in the mansion before quickly dying out, taking with her the horrors she has brought upon the mansion. Slowly before our eyes, the mansion changes again. I don't understand how it didn't change, like, if we were burning the mansion, I would have thrown the paper into a, partial fire as well. Like, what'd you guys do with the paper? Blood fading from the walls, ceilings, and the floor, returning to the place to its old beauty. Gone is the darkness, quickly replaced by the artificial lights in the room. Even the smell of blood and gore has completely disappeared from the room. Perhaps the only thing undesirable left are the dumbfounded looks they're giving me.
See? Wasn't that easy?
Are you shitting me?
For fuck's sake, you people need to get your heads checked. How did you all make it this far in life with that kind of thinking? Well, you can all thank me later for this.
Sure.
You may now show yourselves out of my property before I call the police on you simpletons.
I walk out to the study without a single glance back at them, more than eager to finally get fresh air. They can find their way out of this place, I'm sure. I better not catch them again here, though, or I'll not be happy. Outside there's only silence. Deafening. Still. The same hush that comes after a terrible storm has swept the countryside. And with it from the wide-open windows is the sight of sun rising above the horizon. Ever so slowly the sky begins to lighten before my eyes. Darkness giving way to the warm morning hues, soft rays spilling over the vast expanse of Lugsborn's countryside. Nearby the trees sway and rustle from the breeze, a passing draught that carries even into the room from outside, cold enough to make me shiver. The remains of a storm that has passed. In the distance I can hear the soft chirping of birds while the rest of the world stirs wakes. Dawn at last. We are free. For undisclosed reasons to the public, the mansion is put back on the market months later. Oh, okay. Whoops. While BRC faced criminal charges filed by one Luke Wright after the news of the lawsuit broke and the realty company's declaration of bankruptcy, rumors spread quickly across the city. But for those who still believe in the stories of the old and those who know the truth, it is but a testament to the curse and the secrets of the mansion. If there come a time those will finally be revealed, only the hallowed halls of the mansion know. To this day it stands silent. However, on nights when the wind howls and thunder booms across the sky, some still claim of hearing voices. Of cries and wails that fill the night and desperate calls for help. As for those who once tread its halls... What am I doing? Why am I even hesitating? I wouldn't go so far to claim that I am any sort of decent human being. I realize now, too, that I may not have been the best husband one could ask for, but she's still my wife, and even if she wasn't, she's still Hana. Can I really live with myself if I just stood by idly while she was in danger? That doesn't change the fact that this is all fucking insane, of course. Having all these intruders is crazy. To think about going at this thing is crazy. I can hardly classify it as a person in my eyes. Perhaps a maggot that needs to be crushed under my shoe, just like the rest of this sorry lot, but a person hardly. But I cared none for any of it. That didn't matter. All that matters is that Hana is in danger. A cold pours over me, freezes me in place once more when I try to make demands. I have to take deep breaths, grit my teeth, and steel my fist to even find the courage to speak up.
Let go of her! Don't hurt her! Whatever it is you want! Just don't you dare hurt her!
And if my voice isn't as firm as I'd like, it doesn't matter. I'll beg and plead if I have to. On my knees, bend my fucking proud neck, and maybe even break it just to make sure she's safe. I don't know what I would do if anything happened to Hana. The cold stillness is gone from my body, and my very skin feels like it's on fire, and I have to shout, scream at her when Hana continues to cry in pain.
What do you want? Money? Is that it? I'll give you however much you want.
Luke, please make it stop. I want it to stop.
Just stop whatever it is you're doing to her. Can't you see she's hurting?
I cannot stand for this.
Let go of her! Now!
I say it with such ridiculous conviction, of course she won't listen. Why would she? She has the upper hand here. There is no reason for her to do as I ask. But her voice is but a whisper and deathly slow, and I'm hard-pressed to hear it over the pounding of my heart in my ears. She speaks, the woman from the gardens and the servant from the ballroom, from the hallucination. A hush settles over the room as we listen.
Does not love you anymore. You are nothing to her. And you wish to have him back.
There are no second thoughts.
Be that as it may, I still love her. And I will make you rue the day you were born if you don't let her go.
Though her expression doesn't change, I have this most awful feeling that it wasn't the answer she was looking for. I can see how the woman's fingers tighten around Hana's throat, hear the hitch in her breath, and I fear that I've made the worst decision in speaking out. I didn't think she would listen. Yet she does. A hand on Hana's back sends her falling down the stairs, and I move to catch her. And that sends us both sprawling on the foot of the stairs. With my back to the ground and her on top of me, the pain doesn't even register in my head. All I can worry about is Hana as I pull the both of us off the ground and away from the stairs, away from her.
Are you alright, Hana? Are you hurt?
It takes much too long for my liking before she speaks. All she's able to do for a moment is whimper in pain, a hand to her throat. And when she does manage to speak, her voice is far too faint along with the hold she has on my arm. It's terrifying to see her like this and to think I nearly lost her for good.
Luke, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. She just...
It's fine. It's fine. You're fine. This isn't your fault.
For a moment we forget, but...
You deserve each other.
Hearing her voice triggers something in Hana and she starts to tear up, her face contorts into one of pain and fear. But I grab her shoulders to keep her in place so that she can see me and only me, and so that I can only see her too.
Look at me, Hana. Look, I'm here. You're safe. I won't let her hurt you again. You understand? Just breathe.
I don't know exactly what in bloody hell's going on, yet I can't find it in me to care, whoever these people are and whatever they're here for. This is unacceptable. For all I know, this is all some dumb charade to get to me. I'm surprised that burning the letter didn't really give us... much of a like a different ending or something where like it's maybe even more sinister because the mansion is still there, but I guess not. Or at least I hope not, because I didn't want to sit through the credits again, and I wanted to skip it, so I clicked, and I'm just hoping that didn't mean it decided to skip everything that was supposed to happen after. Kinda a shame. I kind of wanted to see more into how Luke felt about the Hannah being pregnant, but we didn't get that. It just all of a sudden he's all talking about how I can't believe she would do this to my wife. Who she would hurt her and her unborn children. And then that was it. And then we find out she has twins, and that was a shocker. Sad for Ash. We only really got like Zachary talking about how he went to visit the grave. And surprised that like everyone pretty much had like maintains a friendship sort of. It's just that Hannah and Luke are like the only ones that don't interact with each other after, really. But yeah, I think when I do the extra stuff, maybe I think I should just do it now. Guess I'm doing it now.
Sorry about this. I really don't have
Oops, wrong one. Sorry, I'm just thinking about wanting to shoot Luke. God. My life's not the only one at risk here, however. There's Zach, Rebecca, Isabella, McCullough's here as well. We're all unknowing victims to this fucking curse. I'm in no position to pick who to save and who I should simply let die. I suppose my pride can take a few hits and I can set aside my beef with this asshole. Taking a deep breath slowly, I lower my pistol. Though still on edge and at ready in case he does something, I do my best to assume a less aggressive stance.
Listen, right. I need you to...
You broke into my house, and somehow, you expect me to listen like a good little boy. Are you a bit touched in the head, Feathers? I'm not the one breaking laws here.
Look here, fucker. If I wanted you dead, I could have done it so many times already. In fact, I can easily shoot you down right here, right now. And you won't be able to do a damn thing, even with that gun.
Suddenly he laughs, almost howling in fact, like I've just told him the best joke he's heard all his life. The only thing missing is for him to keel over and start rolling around the floor, all while I do my best not to sock him with the sorry end of my pistol.
You have guts, Feathers. You have guts. Did you hear what you just told me? You've just threatened me inside my own house. My own home. You know what I'm thinking right now? In another lifetime, we would have probably gotten along well.
He's right on that at least. I might have ended up like him if I didn't have Professor Andrew, Rebecca, Zach, and Isabella. One mistake and it would have been too late for me. With his laughter rings all those possibilities I could have lived, but have never been given the choice. All because I have other people with me, people who care. A sobering realization. But not so much when suddenly his chuckling stops. In 2 heartbeats he marches toward me, grabs my collar, and aims his gun right at my head.
Ashton! Luke, no!
Hey, now you two, I'm sure we can all talk about this first.
At this distance, a slight flick of that finger on the trigger will be able to do more than kill me.
What is it that you people really want with me? This is the second time this week, and I'm really getting weary of this little game. Did the NCA send you to apprehend me, or has somebody paid you off to kill me? Which one is it, Feathers? Mind you, my arm's getting tired. Better answer quick if you don't want to beat the business end of this gun.
I keep my eyes trained on him in spite of the huge threat he poses right now. Because if there's anything people like him, like us, prefer, it's honesty. You don't give that impression without keeping solid eye contact.
I'm not with NCA. I'm just here to help. There's something else in this house, and we're all in danger. You have to believe me, right? You need to let us go. You need to get out of here before it's too late. If you want to keep your sorry ass alive, you'll listen to people with more brain cells than you.
Why, you insolent!
People like him like honesty, but also, they don't like being insulted, stupid. His finger moves, but I'm prepared, my hand ready to reach up and disarm him and knock him out. If I have to drag him out of this place unconscious to keep him from suffering the fates of every other person who has died from this curse, so be it. However, before either of us can shoot, fire a shot, or tackle the other to the ground, another voice echoes throughout the foyer. A small little thing compared to the storm raging outside, it rings above, nevertheless causing all of us to stop and turn. At the top of the staircase, Honorite stands. To make matters worse, that thing's behind her, menacing, a rotting hand wrapped firmly around her neck. She looks like death. Pale and shaky, eyes red with tears, we nearly don't hear her as she pleads.
Luke, help me. Please.
Outside, another streak of lightning flashes and a clap of thunder ripples across the sky, as if this whole thing can't get any more foobar than it already is. Oh my god, all I had to do was not shoot him and we would have been fine. Despite the pride brimming in him, how he matches my glare with one of his own, he simply lowers his pistol after a long second, not in surrender. The tense set in his shoulders tells me as much, but the closest he can get to lowering his own ego in favor of something I can't quite place. Interesting. Gotta admit, I'm almost disappointed.
As you should be, my lord.
I've expected him to hold until one of us shoots the other. Can't say it'll be more exciting that way. A bullet inside any part of my body isn't something I'd like to have on a bad day like today, or any day for that matter. But it'll surely be predictable of him. And I like predictable. The kinds of people who are the easiest to deal with, no matter the situation. With him, there's no second guessing what they'll do. He shoots, I shoot, one of us dies, the other walks away, nothing complicated. Nothing requiring much brain power, just muscle memory and who's the better shooter, end of story. Yet here he is, dragging a deep breath in and setting aside the only thing protecting him. I can easily shoot him this way, be done with this whole farce of a conversation. Instead, I find myself listening. A concession for a person who, in another life, I would have also become the person I am today had his circumstances allowed. Damn shame. We might have gotten along.
Listen, right. I need you to...
But alas...
You broke into my house, and somehow, you expect me to listen like a good little boy. Are you a bit touched in the head, Feathers? I'm not the one breaking laws here.
Look here, fucker. If I wanted you dead, I could have done it so many times already. In fact, I can easily shoot you down right here, right now. And you won't be able to do a damn thing, even with that gun.
A meeting of two prideful blokes will never go well, whichever lifetime it is. And I can only laugh at his audacity, his lack of shame and fear, even facing the business end of my pistol.
You know what I'm thinking right now? In another lifetime, we would have probably gotten along well.
The best truth I can offer him, not many people, those who have slighted me in particular, live this long to see it.
And he should be grateful. You're already gracious enough, allowing him to stand in your presence like this.
Yes, especially when he has a lot to answer. Preferably right now, because as generous as I have been so far, my patience has its limits. My amusement can only last for so long. In 2 steps, I'm standing in front of him, grabbing him by the collar and resting the cold muzzle, the eagle, against his temple.
Ashton! Luke, no!
Hey, now you two, I'm sure we can all talk about this first.
He'll end up a pretty smear on the wall this close.
Teach this loud a lesson.
What is it that you people really want with me? This is the second time this week, and I'm really getting weary of this little game. Did the NCA send you to apprehend me? Or has somebody paid you off to kill me? Which one is it, Feathers? Mind you, my arm's getting tired. Better answer quick if you don't want to beat the business end of this gun.
And he knows it. Of course he does. Hitman or not, he has been trained, judging purely from his stance. But not many bother to be as cautious as him. One glimpse at my handgun's safety earlier is all it took for him to see I mean business. Similar, too similar. But too alike in many little ways it's funny. Down to the fact that he doesn't even flinch no matter how heavy the threat in my words are. Even knowing how one flick of my finger on the trigger will be enough to end his sorry life. Should have caved in by now, started begging like so many others before him. Instead, he throws more vitriol, adds more kindling to a fire already burning.
I'm not with NCA. I'm just here to help. There's something else in this house, and we're all in danger. You have to believe me, right? You need to let us go. You need to get out of here before it's too late. If you want to keep your sorry ass alive, you'll listen to people with more brain cells than you.
Igniting it further that I can't help but return it to him with equal fervor. We don't need him, my love.
Why, you
What?
insolent!
We don't need him, my love. We both decide to move in that moment, both our bodies tensing, each of us racing to get ahead of the other. However, before we can even get a head start, a voice unexpectedly rings above the chaos about to ensue.
Help me.
It's a slow thing, a whisper more than a bang, as the darkness creeps into every corner of the room. The walls shudder and groan, blood runs from the ceiling, crawls down the walls, and stains the floor. It feels as if life itself is being sucked from the house, slowly but surely. The beauty of the place is gone, with only the dead decaying remains of a mansion left in its wake. I don't have to wonder if it's just a foyer that's become this nightmarish place. I can already hear it. Gone are the growling of thunder and lashing of rain and wind against the foyer's high windows. All of it's been replaced by a more grating sound. A cacophony of voices of nowhere and everywhere echoing around the horrid walls. Voice neither belonging to us or the people who lived here.
What's going on?
Throughout the house, shouts of alarm and surprise ring out, a mirror to the horror creeping up in each of us. Who wouldn't be shocked? This is insane. Even Daisy, feisty woman that she is, trembles at the sight of it, clinging desperately to Lily while Steel and Feather stand protectively in front of the two. Brave of them, I have to admit, to put themselves in the front line like that. Though it doesn't necessarily mean they don't feel the same fear as the rest of us. Something I don't blame them for. There seems to be no end in sight to this insanity. If anything, this only feels like it's the beginning of the end.
Help me! Oh my god! Please, somebody! Who are you? Stay away! No! Stay away!
The screams fill the mansion. She laughs all the while, a harsh, agonizing sound that goes on for what feels like forever. Until there's nothing but silence, her horrid smile and pale hands reaching out to me. Me, desperately trying to skip things. Because I'm just like, it's the same, please, let me go. Calling, beckoning, pleading. I'm terrified, I really am, like I should be.
Ow! Sir, you're hurt.
Hey, hands off her, right?
Fuck off, Feathers. I have questions for your friend, and she better have the answers.
Luke, will you stop taking it out on every single person?
Your friend is hiding something,
That
Daisy.
letter has been with me since I picked it up. And I swear I didn't make copies of this thing. Even if I wanted to save myself, I wouldn't do that to my friends. Or anyone.
Is that what the trip to BRC was for?
Yes, I'm sorry. I couldn't tell you guys until I was certain.
Maybe Ash is right. This is where Bella found that thing, right?
It was just a hunch, Zach. We were not getting anywhere. But just because we went here doesn't mean we will find all the answers we need here. Hell, now we're stuck here.
Regardless, Seal pauses, allows Lily to remember. Soon enough, whatever it is dawns on her, and her face lights up with something like hope. Of all things in this nightmare, hope. It snaps up and reaches for Steel's arm to give it a squeeze. A reassurance, confirmation. The meaning is lost even to Daisy, who glances at them baffled.
Belle, what are you...
How many of these things do you keep in this house?
I always have a few bottles in the bedroom, you know, the parlor and the dining room.
You have problems, man.
Well, isn't this the time to discuss them?
Turns out it'll be useful now. Not to drown out my sorrows, but to burn this whole fucking place down. Officers who investigated have simply deemed it an unfortunate accident. Regardless of the truth, Luke Wright files criminal charges for undisclosed reasons, forcing the latter to declare bankruptcy. A move that has merely stoked rumors further, but for those who still believe in the story of the old and those who know the truth, it is a testament to the curses and secrets of the Ermengarde mansion. There will come a time it shall be revealed, only the ashes of the now ruined mansion know. However, on nights when the wind howls and thunder booms, they still hear the voices, and wailing and crying, and they go, oh, God, where's my earplugs? In an investigation headed by LPD's Detective Inspector Ashton Frey, all of Wright Enterprises' illegal businesses dealing with the past 10 years come to light. Although his involvement with other crimes is still being investigated, the disclosure has caused a huge outcry, especially with the city's business sector. Doing it not for herself, but for the sake of history the future generation must never forget. No matter how disturbing... I don't know why that was the one line. Whoa, he's not wearing his weird jacket. Things have inevitably become strained between Ashton Frey and Rebecca Gales in the months following her confession. And with their lives getting busier, the two have eventually drifted apart. Although neither talks about it and the teacher still strives to forget an old love, it's clear in Rebecca that there are still feelings left she couldn't let go of. If anything, however, this has only made it obvious how much has changed between them, and how much she has clung to the idea of Ashton from their younger days, the one that may not have been there in the first place. Merely an idea for a starry-eyed young girl. But if there will be a time she will be able to accept this, to move on from the hurt and repair an old friendship that has fallen to ruin, only she knows. Honestly, I like the way he dresses here way better than how he dressed before. Following his success in bringing the Luxborn firm case to a close, Ashton Frey receives a recommendation for transfer to Luxborn's lead agency against organized crimes. Endorsement eagerly backed by the newly appointed successor to the late Chief Inspector Lee, Abigail Harris. Knowing he'll have more resources, leeway, and better chance at ultimately bringing Luke Wright to justice, Ashton Frey accepts. He still warns the people close to him against Wright and his associates, but only a friendly reminder now more than anything. Though he does worry, he believes they are wise enough to know what they are doing and trust their judgment. For now he has to decide to leave the evidence and the law to speak for itself, to take care of the man once the proper time comes. Nowadays, police work and the operations keep him busy, sometimes taking him away from the city he grew up in for days on end. A rare thing for him to enjoy once upon a time, yet this time he never loses his drive. Simply growing more determined after having finally found a clear purpose close to the rush and excitement he dreamed of as a child. Although Ashton still keeps mum about specific details of his work, his experience with the curse has slowly taught him how to open up. Especially to those he knows that genuinely care for him. He still has a long way to go, he knows that, but for the sake of the people who are still with him, those who have chosen to stay, he hopes that there will come a day when he no longer has to hide behind his own lies. A day when he is no longer afraid of facing the truth in his own words. On his days off, Ashton is usually seen loitering around Zachary Steele's studio, either to help him out on one of his pet projects or exasperating the other man on purpose. Either or, it's mostly the latter. At certain times he'll volunteer to model for one of Zach's projects in spite of the photographer's reassurances that it's not needed. Regardless, Ashton insists before complaining how meticulous the whole process is hours later, to Zach's utter amusement. Though sometimes they may get into small trivial arguments, things have stayed cordial between the two. If anything, the ordeal they both gone through has merely strengthened a friendship the detective doesn't expect to find in anyone. Between the lingering trauma and their measly attempts at normalcy, it takes a few months for the awkwardness to finally lift for both Ashton and Isabella. Of several weeks trying to find their voice and remembering how to act around each other despite enduring affections. But once the unease fades, there's only their usual banter and rapport to fall back on, the casual talk and friendly jibs. And for the both of them it's easy, like breathing, like coming home after another journey, a comfort in spite of the things they've gone through. Their days may still be filled with petty arguments and light teasing, but in the aftermath, when all has been said and done, something constant has already been forged between them. A quiet, steadfast thing that can both hold on to as they both carry on. Okay, I think I'm just gonna go. That's gonna be the last one, because I think I could do Zach's one in the next round. Probably, maybe. I just don't want to have to go back so far, because I feel like I'm just doing another round. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I can't believe I almost had such a good track record of keeping everyone alive, and then I killed Ash. If only I remembered that the ghost is obsessed with Luke, and that maybe would have helped. I would have been like, oh no, if I do something to Luke, then we're gonna die, so... But I didn't. Completely forgot. And I chose the wrong one and ruined my streak. Anyways, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you in round 2. Or anything else. Have a good day and a good night. You best sleep tight, peasants. I'm just kidding, you're not peasant. You're the kings and queens of my heart. Kisses. Good night. Or morning. Ugh, awkward outro.